have a new laptop. For those of you who missed, I was on a couple days ago, so many of you may have missed this, but I have a new laptop, which is awesome. Uh, and the coolest thing about it is like it's incredibly small, mobile, and apparently I can go anywhere with it. One of the shittiest things about web cameras is the auto, what do you call it? The auto light adjust. It always makes it look so dark or so like fucked up. I've never seen like a webcam that does it right. Like in my house, like when I talk to my parents on Skype or something like that at my house, I have to set up like like literally like production lights so that they can see my face. Otherwise, it's always like incredibly dark. It's ridiculous. Well, actually, this is a PC, so I might go out and buy another microphone to attach to it. There's a built-in one, but I might see if there's a better microphone, better webcam out there. Any thoughts on that? Anybody? Like, if you have any? Yeah, and I do look more high when I don't have the production lights on. You know, if I don't have like huge light, there's like yeah, this woman walks past and suddenly it brights up. It's incredibly frustrating. Like I bet. All right. See now, oh, I moved there. It's totally lights it again. Like I bet if I drink coffee, if I put that here, maybe that'll totally fuck up the white balance. The light balance. Yeah, yeah. Suddenly it becomes like uber bright. Now you can see me, but as soon as I take this away, what the hell is that? Seriously, how retarded is this camera that you can only see me when I hold a cup next to the fucking camera? So honestly, I'm just gonna hold a coffee cup like this the whole time. I'm gonna hold a coffee cup like this, so I'm somewhat not in the dark. It is. Well, it's not beautiful. It's a very it's a bright day at least. Somehow it looks like I'm inside of a mine. But anyway, this new camera uh, may have some good classes. Well, I'm still like sorry, this new computer. I'm still like trying to figure out a lot of stuff about it. Allegedly, allegedly, there's like a 9-hour battery. But I totally don't fucking believe that. There's no way. There's absolutely no way it's actually a 9-hour battery. It's like 9 hours if all you do is like let the you know screen-mounted clock run. Perhaps if you just use it as a clock, then maybe it's 9 hours. But I think if you surf the internet or do anything on this computer, the battery life probably goes down to like 3. But there's no way it can be 9 hour. But they literally they wrote it on the card. And like I was talking to the guy at the electronics store, I'm like, seriously, 9 hours, seriously? And he's like, yeah, it has an energy saving mode. Like what? It's 9 hours. Like the battery lasts 9 hours when it's turned off. Yeah, but I mean, especially I told him like I'm basically only going to use this computer for like web streaming. Uh, how long will the battery be? And he was like, it'll be shorter than 9 hours. Oh shit, Sherlock. No, no, I didn't buy it during Tokyo. I went 40. That's not bad. Fuck it. It was better for like a second. Um, no, I got this in Ikebukuro actually. I mean, I actually say, and it's my Gaijin opinion, but um, Akihabara is not necessarily that great a place to shop for like great discounts on electronics. I mean, in certain things it is, like for example, like DVDs, like you want to burn DVDs, like you can get really cheap, like blank DVDs, but like or like used pieces of shit. But I mean, you can get better deals on the internet. You know, like the internet is is far better than Akihabara, but the internet is not nearly as much fun. So that's why Akihabara exists. If you really want to get something discount electronic, like get it off like a website like otaku.com. You know, but actually it's a two-part episode of Akihabara. I think, or I'm losing my mind. If anybody, I haven't seen the episode. I haven't actually seen the episode yet. Um, were there any maids in the episode? Okay, yeah, so the maid cafe episode is that's gonna be awesome. But is it? I don't think it's next week. It's like in 2 weeks. I have no idea with the maid cafe episode. Or maybe I'm not doing the studio for the maid cafe episode. I did the like you know outdoor like footage. I did the on location footage. But if it's next Wednesday, then I guess I'm not doing the. Because I mean, we didn't film any studio portion explaining the maid cafe shit. But maybe I'm not. They're not bringing me in for that. I have no idea. Well, hey, if you like the episode, email them, and tell them so they hire me back. I'm quitting a lot of my work. I've been overworking for the last so many months. So I've decided to take like several months sabbatical and basically pursue my own artistic endeavors, which is part of the reason why I have this new camera, this new mic. Sorry, this new you call it camera. Part of the reason why I have this new computer. Kangaroo fucker, isn't she with you? I don't think I don't think this thing even has a brand. I don't. It seriously. It's like EPC. It's called EPC, some shit like that. Like it's really low rent. But basically, I just wanted a piece of shit that I could like. It's really small and light. Had a long battery life, and so I can like throw it in my bag and just almost like halfway between my iPhone and my like iBook is basically what I was looking for. Like not like a real actual laptop that has any computing power, but also not like as limited as an iPhone. It's about that big, slightly larger than my head. Hey, mom. lost. But yeah, no. I've decided like I want to start doing something more for myself rather than um, because actually like one of the most one of the biggest time sucking things I've been doing for the last year has been this children's show. But right now I'm well, I'm supposed to be right now working on the last two episodes, episode 19 and 20 uh, of the show. And once that's done, uh, that's going to be a huge hole in my schedule. Uh, and I'm still doing the JVT website thing. But that doesn't take so much actual time. Uh, so I'm going to have a lot of free time for the near future. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with my free time. Uh, you know, they're like trying to start my own company of some kind. I don't know what it's going to do. Maybe I could do a pyramid scheme. I could use my like TokyoCooney fan base to start a pyramid scheme. I mean, it seems to be popular lately. Or if not a pyramid scheme, I'll just turn to prostitution. I've been watching the show Hung on HBO, and since I've seen the show, started watching that show, I've determined that's my calling in life. Yeah, or become an Amway salesman. I could do that. No, I can't use you guys for mine. No, but what I want to do is I want to do a project. I want to do a big project, like a thing, and it's like I've been like making notes and debating, but like I'm narrowing it down to either writing a book, trying to make an hour and a half like documentary about trying to crack into the Japanese comedy circuit as a foreigner, or putting together like an actual like legitimate pilot for the travel channel or like one of those types of channels, like not like my typical Tokyo Kuni bullshit videos, but like try to make an actual like solid video and then you know up like send that off or what other stupid ideas did I have? I had tons. Um, I had other like awesome ideas, but they require too much like startup capital. Right now, I just have like enough money to basically. I don't have to work for like 4 or 5 months, maybe. Um, you know, so basically, I can. I mean, 4 or 5 months, depending on what I do during those 4 or 5 months. 3 months, depending on how I live. You know, getting a business loan as a freelance writer, the likelihood of a bank giving me a business loan is not high. I'm not even a permanent resident or a citizen, so a little bit unlikely that I'll be getting a bank loan. I could not get a, I could get a credit card for Christ's sakes. And, like I applied for a video store credit card, like a video store Visa card, and they rejected me. That is the most humiliating thing. Like when a like it was like the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the lowest possible, you know, credit options. And they're like, nah, this guy's a little bit too flaky. Like, kind of, I could. That's like actually what I'm thinking about doing is like taking about half of the money I have saved right now, going to the bank and just buying like lots and lots and lots of soup and noodles, just tons of it, shit tons of it. So I can just no matter what happens, I can survive somehow, you know. Unclearless. That was unnecessarily evil. And yes, ramen is awesome. Fuki plum wine good. I don't know what Fuki plum wine is. I know what plum wine is, and plum wine is awesome, but Fuki, I'm not sure what you mean by Fuki. Fuki, there's a kind of mountain vegetable named Fuki. There's, I mean, mix of the two. Seriously, I don't know. Another thing I could do with the time off is just like go to Japanese school, like enroll full time and just like work my ass off on my Japanese to get it up to like, TV broadcast level. Oh yeah, the other idea is work on my Japanese neta. Just commit to like I will just work on my Japanese comedy because like I mean I rarely work on it. I mean only once in a blue moon do I sit down and try and write comedy in Japanese. Um, like I mean like for my own set, not for like a job. I mean even like my English stand-up, which I mean I love doing. I rarely write new jokes. I haven't written new jokes in years. It's pathetic. I don't even know why I call myself a stand-up comedian anymore. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Yeah, another thing I could do, Hilsey, actually, and this has definitely occurred to me, um, I could just spend a lot of time chilling out at home eating potato chips and watching, because I got a recently a big ass TV and just watch TV and fatten up and grow stupider. I mean, that's a very attractive idea. 50, I think it's 52. I have no idea what it is. I actually have no idea. Or it's off. Nothing, yeah, sorry. I'm Facebooking, but like I essentially I leave the Facebook for just like the people I'm blood related to, or like went to university with, or wouldn't date me in high school, and now I stalk online. Um, which is I think what Facebook is meant for. I mean, I'm unlikely to Facebook friend anyone unless I used to stare incessantly at the back of their head in junior high school. Uh, well, and I would argue any office is like a virtual high school reunion. Any office job is like a virtual high school reunion. Uh, the problem is, and I have to cull. If anything, I have to start culling my Facebook because it's like over 200 people now, and like um, I'm not. It's getting difficult to like keep up to date on people like say my brother, or um, guys I've known since I was a kid, which was I thought the whole point, and I thought that everyone agreed on that. This is this one point I'm pissed off about, like Danny Chu about. Every time I get a Facebook friend request, and it always says like you have one friend in common. I'm like, oh, maybe I must know this person then. Maybe this is somebody I know because they know one of my friends. It's always fucking Danny Chu, you know, because he uses Facebook. He friends everybody. Everybody he friends on Facebook, you know. But I thought like we had decided the rule was like MySpace was for friending everybody, and Facebook was for like friends and family. I thought there was like that was like a group decision we all made as a adult, interweb society. That the two different websites have different purposes. Yeah. If you want to just like make random friends with people you'll never meet in real life, then go to MySpace. But if you actually want to keep in contact with, you know, people you know, then use Facebook. And if you're Asian, use Friendster. Hello, blow the fuse. I wish I was in Dublin, Ireland myself. That would be a nice place to be right now. I know exactly what I would do if I was there. I'd be at the King's Head enjoying a very large pint of stout, or the Stag's. What is it? The Stag's Head, the King's Head, uh, Connell's, I think. The Stag's Head. I remember. I don't remember a lot from. I went to Ireland about 3 times. I remember very very little from my 3 trips there. And it's hard to like separate what happened on each individual trip. I went like after high school with three of my best like high school graduation trip with my 3 best friends. I went with a British girlfriend in university, and then I went once by myself, and it all kind of mixes together. And that's the other thing about Facebook people who don't use their real name. That's that MySpace is for that. Facebook, you have to use. You're supposed to use your real name on Facebook. That's the point. But MySpace is where you use your fake name. That's MySpace is the place for uh, hunting 13-year-old Costa Rican boys, or that's what MySpace is for, not Facebook. I don't know. That's I maybe I got a memo that did not get properly promulgated. Yeah, no, like, I definitely with Facebook I have a rule, and it's if you update your status uh, more than once per day, I defriend you. Unless those status updates have to do with like you know the baby is crowning or it's a and then like it's a boy. Like if that's like the multiple ones, I can handle that. Like that, then maybe you get like 3 or 4 updates in a given day. But if it's like I just had some really great popcorn, and then like this movie sucks, I you've been you're off the list. It's over. I don't have time for friends that are that stupid. I mean, that's what Twitter is for. Twitter is for making those stupid, pointless updates. Like that's where we put them. You know. Like, damn it, there's popcorn in my teeth. How many calories are in popcorn? It's like you can't have a conversation with the world in your Facebook updates. The worst is, oh, the worst. This girl, like, I know-ish. I mean, I met her like twice at auditions, and I know her husband. I worked with him briefly at this other job, but like, uh, they got divorced after like 2 months of marriage because she walked in on him and a Filipino woman, which pretty much sealed the deal on ending it. But he like I remember like the first email went up, and like the first Facebook status update was like my heart has been ripped from my chest and destroyed by that piece of shit husband of mine, or something like that. Like it was just like whoa, okay. But I was like, oh, she's like doing the like I'm really angry, but it's something stupid like he lost the TV remote control, right? And then it was just like every 2 hours for like a week, and it was like really like called some friends like seriously, someone go to her house and take the computer away, you know? It was just like this public electronic meltdown, and it's just like take her computer away, take her computer away. It was just so horrific to watch, and I can understand like you know having like doing that like with say some family members in a very small thing, but she has like 300 Facebook friends, people she works with and works for, and like this whole like people she barely knows like me, and it's just like why not just like walk into the town square and just start like flailing your chest and whipping yourself with like a branch of thorns, which I guess people have done over the ages, but it's just wow. And it's not the only time I've seen it happen, but I've seen people do the Facebook like status update meltdown. It's like well, I do not need to know. Like status updates should be innocuous and generally positive. You know, like and actually there's a great thing on CNN, uh, which was hilarious. They're like, I think it was either CNN or Yahoo.com. They was talking about like, don't post "I just got fired" on your Facebook like profile update because like all like that never like I mean it's like you're angry and you want to tell somebody, but that's not the forum for it. You know, you should like generally try and keep your news like positive if you can on Facebook. You know, but it's kind of true because like as soon as you put up like I just got slapped with like a sexual harassment suit on your Facebook status update, like you're not helping yourself. You know, and the proper way to do it is just go online cover your camera and then play obscure blues music for 3 or 4 hours while getting really drunk. That's the proper way to do it, you know? Sorry, I was distracted for a bit there. Oh, I'm sure they will. Absolutely. How could they not? I mean, nothing is sacred anymore on the internet. No, unfortunately, there is a very high, uh, like, what would I call it? Concentration of Hatitude. And this, I mean, it's not as bad as like Shibuya or like Avis or Harajuku, but still, I'm in Ikebukuro Station. I get fired. Now, I could get fired like 6 or 7 times before I'd be out of a job. Ah, yes. And then there are Blancomages, uh, Hilsey. At the end, they're puddings, right? I love that. Actually, that sketch goes on too long. Actually, the man turns into Scotsman sketch on Monty Python is way too long. I mean, it's funny, but it's long. Oh no, because I'm well. Basically, one of my jobs is coming to its natural end, uh, and basically I'm taking some time off just because like literally for the last like 2 months, I haven't done um, like I haven't had a guest on the show. Uh, I haven't put out a YouTube video in over a month now. I haven't written a stand-up comedy joke for my stand-up act in at least a year. You know, um, like I seriously, I'm not making anything that I want to make anymore. I need Cooney time exactly. I need me time. I need time to do stuff that like I want to do. And I explained this a lot better, I think, the other night when I was just first testing out this camera. Sorry, this computer. Why do I keep fucking calling it a camera, not a computer? Um, um, but like, I'm getting older, and like, if I keep doing like projects for other people, I'm never gonna get to do stuff I want to do. You know, like I want to do like art that I want to do. I want to do comedy that I want to do. You know. Hello. So are you there now? No, I can't say anything bad about Chris Pepler. He's such a wonderful person. So it's when the HK police will come and get me. Well, I've done I've had TQ Sam on my videos a couple times, and the comments are usually 50%, why is that douchebag in your videos? And 50%, that guy's so cool. Claytonian is awesome. I adore Claytonian. He's a really cool guy. Uh, I'd love to do a collab video with him, but I have no idea what we would do. Well, Hilsey, he is my nemesis, I think. I'm pretty certain that he's my nemesis. I mean, you have to have a nemesis in life. Otherwise, you know, what's the point of doing anything? Really? I mean, actually, Sam is an incredibly nice guy. Incredibly nice. Just, like I've noticed my audience is different, a little bit different, I think, than his audience. I will not explain that further. I think he's just a kind of person like you like him or you don't. Yeah, no, but if Superman didn't have a nemesis, he'd just be lame. Sorry, he'd be pointless. What's the point of being Superman if you don't have a nemesis? Okay, sweet. I hate to do this to you guys. I feel really, really guilty. Um, but the spot with the electrical outlet has just opened up, and it has less of a view of anything. The view of some triffid-like shrubbery. But I think I'm gonna move over there. Come on, old people. Where are they? Move. Move, old people. Are we conferencing about moving? We need a whole conference for this? God, old people are slow. Don't make me sit down again. Are you counting your change? Is that what you're doing? All right, you're done now. Okay, yeah, okay, good. Oh, there was a little laugh. Ready to go. All right, some movement. Checking out the weather. All right, let's go for it. Don't. Okay, you're done. You're not using the table. Move away from the table. All right, I'm just gonna go stand imposingly in front of the table. Damn it! Fucking move. All right, I'm not gonna stand imposingly in front of the table. I'm just gonna really just no, just stand in front of the table you're not using. That's great. Brilliant idea. It's like the people who like stand in front of the train doors, like waiting for the train doors to open, right? And then they're surprised when there's all these people inside the train that seem to want to walk through them to get off the train. Or like people who like they use an escalator, and when they get to the top of the fucking escalator, they stand there at the drop off point of the escalator. You know, like this is not the spot for you to stand and to decide which direction to go next. Keep going, any direction. Figure it out as you walk. You gotta be mobile, people. But so far, the battery of the thing seems to be pretty good. It was at 60% when I went online. It's at 50% now. So I'm thinking that, I don't know. I'm gonna do the math. Plugged in. A sandwich, just like in the picture. What? Damn it! I already did it. Watch this. I'm still the magician. Oh, I just pulled this sandwich out of that sign. I'm fucking Cyril. Isn't it amazing? It's like, I, this is like, I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but that's very hard for me not to. But anybody who is impressed by magic on TV is a fucking moron because it's TV. It's like it's like it's like being impressed by the technology in Star Wars. Like, oh my god, it's amazing what they can do in space nowadays. It's not real. Like if like I actually like there's a magician in front of me and he does a card trick, I'm impressed by like his like physical ability to trick me. Like that's awesome. But like once you involve like video editing, like it there's zero impressiveness to me at that point. Maybe I'm just a grumpy old man. Phone also must recharge. Oh, now I'm set. I've got I've got a sandwich, a coffee, electricity, and a phone charger. Life could not be more copacetic. Sorry, there's really no interesting view anymore. Just have to see my greasy head eating a sandwich. Isn't that exciting for you guys? So is there any Japan questions? Any Japan related queries out there? As I scarf. Deep fire. Too true. Too true. Mars Hawk, that is actually a pretty good idea. I have to work on that. The strong yen versus the dollar hasn't affected me at all because I get paid in yen, and I haven't been back. I'm planning on going back to the states in definitely April. My brother's getting married, and maybe in Christmas time. Depends. But the thing is, like, but if I do that, it shortens the amount of time I get to fuck around and work on my little art project. You know. So if I don't go home for Christmas, I have more like money to not work with. Sorry, Steve Fire, never found you a sick or dead native chip. How many Japanese people can fit into one train? I don't know, but this guy John Antonino used to do this. comedy bit at my comedy show. I loved it. It was like when Japanese people go to like the circus in America, and they see like the clown car. The clown car comes and like like 20 clowns pile out of this little car. The Japanese people just turn to each other and they're like, "What selfish clowns! You totally could have fit at least 5 or 6 more clowns in there." I mean, that's that's so not impressive. But here's an interesting story I just heard recently. Some Japanese psychologists did a study where they had this like really small kind of like phone booth type box, and they got 8 people inside, and pretty much they could just barely fit 8 people inside this like little box, right? And they all fit in there, and they were in there for like 10 minutes, and then they let them out, and they said, okay, we want you guys to all go wait in this room over here. There's coffee and tea and stuff, and just you guys just go hang out there. Uh, and so they all like go hang out in the little waiting room, and they're sitting around, they're talking, like, oh yeah, what do you do, where you from, they're chit chatting, and then they say, okay, now we want to do it again. We want all 8 of you to go back into this little box, and they can't fit. The 8 people can't fit into the box after they've spent the hour together. Uh, and the psychological reason is that, like, I don't know the specific to Japanese people or people in general, that like if you have no idea who the other people are, you can like squeeze in much closer. But as soon as you start to like meet the people and you know the people around you, like like it becomes really weird and creepy, and like you need more personal space. Like you need like because like but when they were all strangers, they could all fit inside the box. But once they had met and like knew each other and talked to each other, they couldn't do it. I thought that was really interesting. So it was a Japanese study. I have no idea what the results would be on foreign people. I think if it was America, it would be the opposite results. I think if you don't know people, it's like I'm not fucking rubbing up against this weirdo. But like you talk about, yeah, my name's Jim. I'm from Brooklyn. Like yeah, it's just Jim. You know, text Ron. Um, it is, but it is for me harder to write Japanese comedy than American comedy. But what weird is, like I've had the problem that people laugh, but because I'm a foreigner, they expect certain other things, and there's like more like layers to it, like getting past like the visual aspect of it, and also the language. And there's a lot more like it's weirder, you know. It's kind of like a Japanese guy being funny in English. Like it's harder because he has to fit into a certain stereotype about Japanese guys, perhaps. So it's difficult, maybe, you know. I don't know. I don't know. But I've always felt very strongly. Um, I I record a little bit of this stuff. I haven't recorded shit forever. All I have recorded is like, um, me apologizing for being a lame. But I definitely have had this like long running comedic theory that um, people who get shit on and are outsiders in society are generally funnier than people who have good lives and are well adjusted and typical. And I think if you look at American comedy, that's clearly the case. Like definitely, no one can deny that the early 1900s American comedy was dominated by Jewish people. Was dominated by Jewish people. And like who had been fucked over more, like in recent history or after that, you know, than that group? Nobody. Um, in the 70s and 80s, probably one of the most dominant groups that came up was African American comedians, and they totally were just rocking. And why? Because it was just after civil rights. It was it was a difficult time, and I think being an outsider in society looking in, it's easier to see what's funny. And it's also easier, um, like to, I don't know, to put yourself down, or that's why the Dane Cooks of the world, attractive white guys from Ohio or where the fuck he's from, you know, it's somehow less attractive for people to watch than say a Richard Pryor or a Jackie Mason, you know. Uh, and my hope had been that the Latinos were gonna pick up the next that was gonna be the next wave of comedy, was gonna be the Latinos. Uh, that's really not happened. That's really not happened. That was my guess. I totally thought we were gonna, and we still might. I thought it was we had demographic changes in the U.S. I thought there's going to be this total influx of Latino comedians, but it's still pretty much just Carlos Mencia, and he sucks. I mean, he doesn't he's not horrible. He's better than me. I mean, he's a lot better than me, but still, I just kept expecting this wave of all this fresh young Latino talent, but it's just kind of not happened. Oh well. But anyway, so I think being a foreigner in Japan, uh, it's really easy for me to identify things that are obviously funny, um, but it's very difficult for me to explain it to them in such a way that they can understand it. Uh, that's the difficult part. Is I see things much more easily than they do, but it's explaining it to them in a way that they can comprehend is difficult. And Japanese humor is very lowbrow, so you kind of have to be somewhat. I think I'd have to have a motorcycle accident and be partially lobotomized to be successful at Japanese comedy. And then I would need a large plastic hammer to hit my partner with. Although I will say this, um, right now the children's show I'm writing, we have this one comedian uh, working on the show as an actor. He's from a manzai group called TKO, and he just won this big comedy competition called the R1. No, no, the R1? Yeah, R1. Or S1? S1. He won the S1, which is uh, like a sketch comedy competition. Uh, and he won that. And I've been working with him now for about a year. And it's the first time I've really worked with a actual Japanese comedian. And honestly, he's good at his job. I mean, he's naturally funny. I don't really like necessarily his like what he does on TV, but I mean, just talking to him, he really is a comedian. You can just sense it, about the guy. Um, but the style is very different from the states. I mean, there's no political comedy, no discussion of religion, no discussion of, I mean, little discussion of relationships in the way you would have in Western comedy. I mean, and this is on TV mostly. If you go to private shows, like live shows in Japan, it's more similar to American style comedy. But TV, it's like it's like 1950s American TV in terms of comedy. It's sad. My 2 cents anyway. Taco Bell dog, huh? I don't know. I mean, it's funny though. Like Americans are actually, I think, pretty. I think Americans actually do well with the issue of race. Americans, on the large part, think that they're terrible at it. But I think if you compare it to like other countries, I think America has done a pretty good job of being an intercultural society. Uh, for example, I mean, like the best example I can think of is I look at France, you know, who recently tried to ban headscarves in school, and it's just like, what? Uh, are you retarded? Like, France, are you actually retarded? Like, I mean, that's incredibly like the French idea of egalitarian, like egalitarian, is like all people in public society must be equal. But I think the American like version, it's messy, but it works much better. Which is like, all right, everybody do your thing, and we won't stop anybody from doing whatever their thing is. If that's your thing, do your thing. But like the French now, because they're now just starting to actually deal with a mixed society. They've never had to actually deal with it before. They just looked down their noses and said, "Oh, you Americans are so racist," you know. But now that they're actually dealing with immigrants and things like that, they're like, "Well, I mean, a small cross is okay, but a headscarf, no way," you know. So, and it's like Japan as well. I mean, like they have a long way to go in terms of how to deal with like you know people from outside the country or different races or even different religions. You know. But I think the U.S. does it fairly well. We just don't get enough credit for how well we've done with such an incredibly diverse society. You know, exactly. I think what Simon Wu just said. Most other countries call us racists, but they are actually closet racists, or they have like one race in their country, so they never had to deal with the issue. Actually, so they look at America and they mock America for having all these like civil rights issues and like constantly having all these arguments and stuff. But we've been actively dealing with it for centuries, whereas most European countries have only in the last 10, 15 years started dealing with these issues. Just after 1 o'clock here in Tokyo. Charge the battery a little bit longer, and then see if I can take a walk over to the east side of the station. I'm not sure to what extent I can wander with this camera. Um, when am I going to this Cooney break? Actually, the Cooney break is still theoretical, highly theoretical. But I'm saying it online so I can force myself to do it. Um, like this show, the kids show ends probably in 2 more weeks. Um, the Akihabara episode, I think I still have to film that like next week. Unless again, I don't, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not in the studio for that. Um, uh, but then it's just sort of like I've gotten other phone calls recently for other stuff, and it's like I've turned them down. Like I just uh, got a phone call about doing a radio show, an English teaching radio show for NHK, and I'm just like I don't want to do radio. What? Why? And I was just thinking like, oh, that would be good money. That would be really good money. I should do that. But then I was thinking like, but why? I don't. There's never. I would be doing it solely for the money, you know. So it's just like I have to resist, you know, taking jobs, doing things that don't lead towards, you know, creating something that I want to create. If that makes sense, I'm not sure it does, but it just sort of like it's not a career in Zimu, but it's money. I mean, I maybe I should do it, but it's like I've been doing that now for years, like where I keep like fucking, you know, like well, it's not exactly the job I want to do, but it's in generally the same industry, you know. So I'll do it, but it's like, but then I don't end up having time to do, you know, the shit I want to be doing. So it's just like this chicken and egg kind of thing. But like I do have like more than enough money saved to like, you know, take a several months break and like work on some project. So but I'm thinking if I start telling people I'm going to do it, then I'll be forced into a corner and have to do it. Like if in 3 4 months I don't have anything, it was all talk. With Thrasher, pretty much exactly that. But actually, I mean, for YouTube, it's a good thing. Like, I'm gonna hopefully be doing more YouTube videos, and maybe other supplemental stuff. I'll be doing more stuff that I think people who like my YouTube would like, and less things like writing a children's TV show. That is not the type of writing I want to be doing. So, the thing is, like Sixers, it's like I don't. I want to do like I don't know. It's hard to explain. But it's really like I want to either I want to take a crack at writing a book or making like a feature length documentary or like a serious pilot, like for like a Life in Tokyo travel show, and then try and actually shop it around, like or like really commit to working on my Japanese comedy, or like a mix of these things, so like I was talking like I have this Scottish friend I've uh, I've known since my first year of college, and he's a video editor in London, and he always like bounces ideas off me. And he was saying I should write a guidebook like to Tokyo, like uh, And he was also talking about making a quarterly magazine was his idea as well. So he's been trying to feed me ideas. And if you guys have any ideas either, but I don't know. Hmm. Exactly, like Ryan 77, like an enjoyable guidebook, like a guidebook you can read rather than just look stuff up in. But there's no market for that, obviously. Well, wow, travel interactive guidebook. Hmm. I don't know what that is. Sounds awesome. The problem is like the foreigner do's and don'ts sounds like it would be a good idea, but actually I would be about 1 page long if I wrote it. You know, like don't be a douchebag. That would be like one sentence. Like do try everything and don't be a douchebag. That would be my only two rules in the entire book. Chapter one and two, same page. I don't know. Or maybe I should invent something like the paperclip, something useful. And then again, there still is also the sit around, watch TV, and eat potato chips idea, which is also attractive. I'm afraid that that's inadvertently what this might become. Yeah. Jason V2, I've been there. I can't draw, so comic book is right out. It would be like the shittiest comic book ever if I'd have to find an artist. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna keep mulling it over. I mean, I don't have to decide anything now, forever. It's more like it's an overwhelming sense of ennui that my dream, like from childhood, was to one day write for television, and now I'm writing for television, and all right, but it's not like what I meant. Like I meant like Monty Python. I meant like Kids in the Hall or something like that. That was always, my dream. Like or like even like the Galloping Gourmet, or I mean, there's so many things. Uh, I liked, and they're not exactly what I'm making for money now. So it's like, nah. Then again, your username is Pit Thrasher, which is why I think you would like to get the underground metal to be heard in the United States. My username is not Pit Thrasher, so we might diverge slightly in terms of our interests. I just thought you really hated like stone fruits, Pit Thrasher. I just thought like you peaches just pissed you off, just enraged by the concept of a plum. Fucking apricots. Fucking apricots. All right, what's the battery charge at? I want to like. I mean, the whole point of getting this fucking thing is so I could take you guys more places. I gotta start. The other problem is I haven't used a fucking PC in so long. I have no idea where anything is or how to use anything. Where the hell is the battery? It was here a minute ago. It's fucking gone. I can't find it. All right, let me try plugging it. Uh, okay, that's stupid. When the it's plugged in, it doesn't tell you how much battery charge you have. You have to unplug it to find out. This is why I fucking hate Windows. I have a Mac, but the thing is, like walking around with my Mac, it's just way too big. Yeah, I look like a freak. I mean, I already look like a freak. Um, and also, it's like it's a pain in the ass to carry around all the time. All right, I'm gonna see if we can go mobile now. Uh, I'm gonna bust my tray. Um, Actually, I should probably record this as well, so I can look at the video later and see how shitty the audio and video ends up being. I think it's gonna get laggy. I can pretty much guarantee. I'm just basically, the thing is, I have to walk from the west side of Ikebukuro to the east side of Ikebukuro to go to a place with a much better view. Hold on. All right. Okay, walk with me. Now I'm pretty certain that this is going to get laggy as hell, and the audio is going to start to suck. Because I have to go basically through an underground passage, and there's almost no way. Uh, there's no way. I mean, we're just trying this out. Just trying it out. If I can at least keep an unbroken signal, that would be impressive. just that. Just keep an unbroken signal. That would be at least the start. Oh, actually, I should show you while we're in the station. Uh, they just opened a Krispy Kreme in Ikebukuro Station. This is so retarded. But so now every morning, if I so choose, I can walk past the Krispy Kreme. Parts. The waiting time is only 15 minutes. Seriously, people are retards. All right, 15 minutes is like viable. I could consider waiting 15 minutes for a donut. No, 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 no. I'm sorry. 30 seconds. As long as I'll wait. All right. So, how's the lag so far? It's gonna get worse as I get deeper to the station, I think. Is it? Well, actually, I should keep talking to see how laggy it is. As long as the audio works, that's not so bad, and you get like occasional flashes of, visuals. That's hopeful. But I'm literally underneath, two huge department stores in like a train underpass. So it's doubtful the signal's strong here. I mean, at least I would imagine. Really, that's shocking. And then, let's see. I think I figure out how to walk and not kill people at the same time. I'm totally just gonna. At some point, you're just gonna see the camera go like that as I just like walk right into some salaryman, texting on his cell phone. It's just like it's like firing electrons at each other. At one point, you know, two stupid electrons are gonna smash into each other. All right, so now I'm in almost at the east side. And then I'm gonna try and go above ground because I'm thinking the signal will be better at street level. Oh, you could totally walk around like this in New York City. New York City is made for crazy people. But all right, now I'm on the Cebu side. So Tobu side was where the Krispy Kreme was. That's the west side of Ikebukuro Station. Cebu is the other department store. It's over on the east side. Uh, which is really stupid because actually, Sei, the kanji for Sei means west, and To for the department store Tobu, the kanji for To is east. So they're named with the opposite direction of the side of the station they're on. But that's Japan for you. I'm also gonna have to start working out because as light as this laptop is, it's starting to get a little muscle burn. All right, on the street. How's the lag so far? Is it any better above ground? Is it noticeably different in any way? Oh, I'm impressed with this little gadget then. I also recently upgraded my iPhone to the 3GS, and I haven't tried yet, but I think I can also broadcast with that. But I had a friend who did it, like he was webcasting from his iPhone, and I tried watching it. It was just way too shitty. Like the quality and the choppiness of it was ridiculous. The other good thing about like walking while doing this and having to focus on not running into each other is I don't have to notice all the people who are looking at me like I'm insane, which there obviously would be. But if I can successfully get to my intended destination, that's gonna be awesome. Black dude, oh my god. See, there are more than like, just a few foreigners in this country. Every now and then, pass on the street, we give each other a little, hey, Gaijin head nod. What's up, Gaijin? I'm a foreigner too. What's up? But a lot of times they don't like return the head nod. Like you give the nod and then they just do the little, like they didn't notice you. Fucking hate that. Woman's barking some things. Oh, I'm gonna get some tissues. Huh? Oh fuck! That douchebag. That douchebag's had tissues and I put my hand up for me. Tell her to give me a tissue. I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that it's actually I think it may have been for women only. Uh, oh well. Okay. Almost there. Sweet. All right. Now made it to little schoolgirls. Uh, so basically, I'll try and show you a couple blocks away from Sunshine City, which is there at my favorite little outdoor place to sit. So I'm going to buy something and then grab one of these outdoor seats and continue to work. All right. Now see if I can buy food. This is so lame now. This is getting a little bit weird. Now even I feel unusual. I'm just gonna look like I'm typing. I'm doing some work of some kind. I look totally more sane now. Deadly celery. I'm totally busy writing an email right now and talking to myself. All right, I'm gonna stop making eye contact with you guys now. Sorry. How much time do I have left on this video? So if I can make this in 10 minutes, that'd be awesome. Oh, 3 seconds left. No! Cut off. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I could just left the laptop out front, but it's a little weird of doing that. I've only had this thing for a week, so I'm not ready to let it fly around yet. Like your nose there, huh? El Centro. All right. Okay. All right. So it worked. Kind of. Hello, by the way. Um, the best angle for this thing. All right, let's go with the crosswalk. That's it. That's the money shot. The crosswalk. Wider. Nice. I totally. Oh, that fucking idiot. What a. I have to go back and watch the video because I know that I said an L size. I said a large size fucking polo. Like, no, it doesn't matter what I say. It really does not matter what I say. They just say, "Oh my God, he's white and he's speaking Japanese. What should I do?" I'll just give him the M size. I know. It's like actually in Japan. In Japan, I like Burger King because it's your way right away and correctly. But I always fucking hated going like the Burger King drive-through in the states because no matter what I ordered, they'd fuck something up somehow. They would always screw something up. It was as though they were doing it like purposefully to like convince people to not come to the drive-through so they didn't have to work. I don't have the receipt either. Probably did. Nah, he wouldn't do that. Japanese people are not genuinely that. Wait, I got the receipt. No, M size. M size. Oh well. Oh no, they fuck you with the drive-through. They fuck you with the drive-through. That's the whole point of the drive-through is just to fuck you over. Because they know, what are you going to get out of your car? You're too lazy for that. That's why you're in the drive-thru. They know you are the laziest person, so they can fuck with you. Because you're way too lazy to actually get out of your car to get food. I learned to speak Japanese here, meaning Tokyo, not this street corner. I went to classes, man to man. I got a private tutor at a school. I had like man to man lessons. That's the other thing is, if I had too much ginger ale, I might have gone uppity. I might have gone like batshit crazy and killed somebody. All that high fructose corn syrup, man. But anyway, I wanted to take you to this spot. I've been broadcasting on blogTV for like over a year now, I think. Um, and this is my favorite spot to hang out and basically look at the view you guys looking at. I'm looking at a huge poster of a cheeseburger, which sucks for me, but like the view you guys get is the view I like, and not because of the girls in the little sailor outfits, but well, not only, but like it's just awesome little people watching for me. But now with this new little like thing about this internet doohickey, I can go anywhere. This is so cool. I'm so excited. Go ahead, Danya. Japan away. The tattoo. Beyond tattoos is this. If you go back to the Edo period, which is pre-Meiji, like the Tokyo before it opened up to the west, tattoos were often common to establish people as working in certain trades. Like they were tradesmen, certain things, and were very common and not looked down upon in any way, shape, or form. Like there's a long and proud tradition of tattoo art in Japanese history. Then, um, at some point, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm thinking like the 1930s to 50s, um, maybe it's earlier. Uh, they started to become bad and associated with the yakuza, and that only mafioso types would wear them. Uh, I'm not too sure when the changeover happened, but at some point over Japanese history, they became a no-go, and so it became that the only people who had tattoos were like mafia people. But in the last 10 years, and actually there was basically a ban, like you go into a public bath, say, if you had a tattoo. But I mean, in reality, if you're actually like a Yakuza guy, no owner of a little, bath place is going to say no to you. Like it's like they say you can't go in. But like if you're actually Yakuza, you can fucking go in anywhere you like. Uh, so it was a ridiculous, like, kind of rule anyway. It just annoyed, like, foreign travelers who were visiting. But I don't think any actual Yakuza person was ever permitted prohibited entry anywhere, because of his tattoos. Anyway, in the last 10 years or so, the younger generation has started tattooing, and so it's very common. Like I'll be on the train and I'll see like a little Japanese office girl with like a little ankle tattoo of a Mickey Mouse head or something like that. Um, and there still is, to some extent, some stigma attached to it. I remember I was in Roppongi. Uh, I don't remember what I was doing, but I was walking up the steps from the Hibiya line, and there was this absolutely gorgeous woman in front of me, very conservatively dressed, just gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful woman. And as she's walking up the stairs, I noticed her shirt rise up a little bit from like the top of her jeans. Like the entire back Like her entire back was covered in like this full tat. At which point I realized, oh, I should probably stop looking at this woman now. Because if the wrong person sees me looking at her, I might end up dead. Like considering like the neighborhood I was in and like the extent of the tattooing and the level of her attractiveness. Like it might have been a mark of ownership rather than a bit of artistic expression. Who knows? You don't know. It's changing, and the younger generation, tattoos have less of a taboo than they once had. But for older people, still. And I don't know if you went to like a hotel or an onsen, a capsule hotel, it might come up. But I mean, the whole point is it was meant to keep out like mafia, not nothing to do with like keeping out like gaijin backpackers. So I don't know. Yeah, that's my 2 bits. Blair's a bitch, huh? But the Yakuza, yeah, I know it's everyone like people often ask about the Yakuza, but they're really essentially they're just businessmen nowadays. That's all they do is like they run businesses. I mean, generally shitty businesses like loan sharking, prostitution, occasionally like amphetamines, things like that. But essentially, I mean, you don't run into them day to day. And like the neighborhood they're the most known for, Kabukicho, which is the north side of Shinjuku, it's an entertainment district, or red light district, I guess you could call it, on the north side of Shinjuku. The streets, 24 hours a day, are completely 100% safe, in my opinion. Absolutely safe. And the reason is because the Yakuza runs that area, and they want it to be safe so people go there and spend money. Like, there's no reason to be afraid of the Yakuza, essentially. What they do is they shake down, like, shop owners. If you own a small liquor shop in Kabukicho, well, then you will be dealing with the Yakuza, because you'll be paying them money to have your shop not get burned down. You know, if you're a prostitute working for, a Yakuza run club, then you need to worry about them. But like, I mean, normal average people will never ever run into them or have any issues with them. You know, good cheeseburger. Something would piss me off. Seriously, something. Go the fuck away. Doing well on Twitter. Nice to see you again. The Fuse is laughing about my sun comment because he's in Dublin, Ireland, where they don't have sun, except for maybe like one day a year. Twitter Fuse. Love this crossing gun. Cool place. Back at come off time. When are we gonna start? Seriously. Watching is so nice. There is nothing better in this world than people watching. How people watching? That's better. Blazing 10. I mean, at least get your slander right. Where's Shibuya versus the Bronx? Where's Shibuya? Bronx, easily. The most dangerous place in Tokyo is probably safer than the safest place in New York City. Here's the people watching. Tokyo city streets are far more entertaining than this person. The burger, fries, Coke, and the fried chicken leg. I went all out. I went crazy, guys. Uh, 760 yen. So I'm guessing about $7. Tanya, I used to be able to get Hulu. I used to be able to watch Hulu in Japan. And then about, when did it happen? A month ago, it just suddenly stopped working. Yeah, I was using a hotspot shield, like what do they call it, VPN. Uh, but like, they eventually caught on that all these people not inside the U.S. were secretly watching it. Um, and then they shut that down. So now I can no longer watch. I belong to a awesome torrent site that I can download pretty much any episode of any show in about like 1 to 2 minutes. Uh, but it's like you have to register and you have to see it or you can't download. Um, and like you have to be a member for like 6 months before you can invite another person. But it's really fast. But the downloads are awesome. Chicken's gonna suck, I think. I need to eat something fried today. Yeah. The luxurious chicken sucks. That's a bona fide fact. Oh, tonkatsu, that's nice. That's nice. And yeah, it's a great myth that like the Japanese are these like healthy, salad-eating people. Yeah, they eat a lot more fish than some cultures do. Americans, for example. Maybe, but there's a ton of junk food in this country, like homegrown junk food. You know, and you cannot tell me that chicken, like tonkatsu, which is basically just fried meat, is somehow healthier than like a cheeseburger. Uh, I am never getting the chicken here ever again. I don't even know what I was thinking. Actually, does anyone know, like, is there a new replacement for the sun spot shield yet? Oh, miso katsu's good. How did not go yet? Yeah, they do it. They do a mean music concert. We'll have a conference over here. But no, has there been like a new program to replace Sunspot Shield? Because it doesn't work on like uh, any of the programs I've tried. I mean, there's none. Eco Fire Stick. All right. Good. Put this back again. Why did it stop talking to me? So, any other questions? I can hang out a little bit longer, but not terribly much longer. Yeah, I just I filmed it like a month ago. All I was busy on before. I've been working so much over the last year time, and like just this last month, I've been so busy. So it's of the Samba Carnival in Asakusa. They like a Rio de Janeiro style Samba Carnival. Uh, Went there and hung out with a friend I know owns a restaurant, little bar there. But this as soon as I get around to editing it, uh, I should do that. So uh, the mean and I think it's both. Like people wear them once they already have a cold, so they don't spread it. And people wear it when they're outside, like on the train, places like that. Like especially like since this whole swine flu thing started. Like for example, um, like train station staff, like all the train station staff are wearing them, like almost all the time. Like people who work in jobs like where they're out, like interacting with like random people constantly, like are always wearing them. And it's not because they're sick; it's they don't want to catch, Ebola. They don't want to catch Ebola from the weirdos they meet every day. Thank you, dude. Thank you for that website. What's that orange water? Yeah, I agree completely with Misaichi. It's just, like, and actually, the swine flu is not even as bad as the flu. Orange water, that's highly disturbing. That is not exactly the Hallmark card moment I was hoping you were going to say. Can you actually see like what's behind me, or is it too whitewashed out? Because like I can barely see the screen. So freaking glaring. Sun. All right, cool. My left. Well, 360 years. Oh, and then other tables. The Hello Kitty shop in the background. I have a Hello Kitty shop around. Never know when you're gonna need some Hello Kitty merchandise. It could strike you at any moment. And then like you go, oh shit, I gotta get some Hello Kitty shit. Like, oh thank God there's one in the computer. That would be awesome, orange water. Oh, the Denny's, yeah. The Denny's down the street here sucks. I hate that place. Yeah, you're right. All Denny's in Japan suck. I like Denny's. Denny's in Japan sucks. All right. Uh, the other thing I love seeing is like other tourists, like or the gaijin. Like, there's some like really emo-looking otaku tourists walking this way. I should glare at them. I won't though. I'll walk by briefly right now. You have to see for like 2 seconds. Chisaichi, you don't need a guide. I mean, the country is fairly easy to navigate. I mean, provided you're not a retard. I don't know you personally, so I can't vouch for you. But I mean, you should be able to navigate the country. Uh, and like I mean, it's a little bit difficult to buy a guidebook and you can figure it out. That's true, Akane. You would have to be somewhat mentally disabled to enjoy watching my live show. Movie is awesome. I mean, Ladies Friday's not to go there. Let's have to do like a Makase Friday, where you guys just tell me where to go and I'll go. Not today though. Still just testing out the new the new hardware. They drive on the British side, the opposite of America, the left side. Which is actually no. If you want to try, if you have a short amount of time here, and you want to get a lot of stuff in, it's not a bad idea to like sign up for a tour like the Hato bus tour. Also, at the Tourist Information Center in Yurakucho, I talk about this in my YouTube video. I think it's number 40 or something, called "Cheap Chicken and Expensive Shoes." But anyway, I talk about the Tokyo Information Center in Ginza, Yurakucho. And if you go there, they have guides and stuff like that. You know, and if you have money, you can get just like a guide, like a guide. But I'm gonna not answer the DDR question because do I look like someone who DDRs, if that is a verb? I don't dance in my sleep, like in my dreams. I do not have coordination. I would never subject myself to that in real life. Baseball's awesome. You should definitely go to the baseball game while you're here. That can be really, really fun. Even if you don't like baseball, it's really fun to go to a sports event. Any sports event you can go to. Sumo, baseball, soccer, anything. That's true. I have it on camera a couple times, but that was only for comical effect. I can only dance for comical effect. Fortunately, though, the Yomiuri, like the Yankees, are the only like dominant team. So just like it kind of makes it lame because they almost always win. You know, like half the time they take home the pennant. So you know, it's kind of anticlimactic. I wish it. I like it better when it's like more of an even thing. It's the same with like sumo. Like it's usually fairly obvious who's gonna win from before when the fight even starts. Yeah. Actually, it was sort of filming. It's for the kid show. It's not gonna air until like I saw the edited version literally last night, but it's not gonna be on air until maybe February or March. In February or March, you can see it online. Um, but he's wow. He is a classic. He's a piece of work. Shindogu, by the way, is like if you ever seen like Japanese inventions that are basically useless but do have a purpose. There's this one guy who basically started the concept, and now it's become like an international kind of movement of inventions that like do nothing but actually technically do something. Um, but they can't, and they can't be a joke. Like that's one of the other rules is like it can't be just meant for like just being stupid. It has to have like some like somewhat like possible utilitarian use. It can't be completely ridiculous. It has to be like somewhat legitimate. Oh, nice cloud. You can see again. I don't know why the fuck I wasn't wearing my sunglasses. Oh, I know. I know why. So maybe look like a douchebag. I love these sunglasses, but I've just totally come around to the fact that I look completely ridiculous with these. Konbanwa. Aikoko. Aikoko aine. Yeah, it's very Lennon. That's like every Japanese person goes, oh, Lennon! Like, yeah, he was the only person who ever wore round glasses. John, yeah, I like John Rowe as a professional. That would be cool. That would be nice. Or a white Morpheus. Oh, that would be cool. If only. If only. But I love these glasses. And the best part is, I got these in Asakusa, actually, when I was at that Samba Carnival. Um, they're from the 1920s or 30s, and you can see behind you on the left and the right side of the glasses. So like while wearing them, if I look at the right like the right side or the left side, I can see like behind myself. It's so awesome. But it makes me look like a tool. It's the only the drawback of that. Yeah, and I will admit that they mostly are worn for the ability to like stare at attractive women without them noticing. I think they notice. I think they can sense just the creepiness in proximity. To be honest, like I think I'm just gonna skip Halloween this year. I know it's lame, but I have no idea what I would wear. And like the best party, I might have to go to like I don't know. I'm gonna end up going. I'm saying I'm not going. I've been telling people like for the last week I'm not going, but I know when it comes down to it, I'm gonna break down and go. But there's a magazine I write for is having their party this Monday. It's this huge party, like a couple thousand people. This enormous club in Shibuya. But it's Halloween every day in Danny Chu's life. We got the Metropolis glitter ball. Like I kind of have to go to that because I write for the magazine. But I don't know. I went last year and like it was that was for my video last year. Just so crowded, nasty, and I don't have the brain power to think of a new costume right now. Or like, how about like I dress up as Harry Potter, but I get like a rolled cigarette. I get rolled cigarettes, and I go as like Harry Potter, and like I wear the round glasses instead of like the nerd ones that he wears. Just be like, it's magic, dude. It's magic, man. Are there any Doritos chips? Oh no. Actually, yesterday I was walking home last night. I finished work. I was like working on the kids show last night at like midnight, literally. So I'm like walking to get like the last train so I can get home. I probably got home at like 1 a.m. Right? And it sucks like leaving work at midnight because you're leaving as everybody else is leaving like bars where they were having fun. But I saw like a couple people in Halloween costumes. And I was like, really? The 21st? There's already Halloween parties? I think that's way too early. That's ridiculous. The 21st is way too early for a Halloween party. Subarashi, Tokyo is the best place ever for 10 days. For 10 years, it's pretty much like any other place. Like many things, you know, if you only get a limited amount of it, your view of it is considerably altered. It is. I mean, it's a wonderful. Tokyo's a wonderful city. I love Tokyo, but you know, Like, familiarity breeds contempt. The reason most marriages probably fail, you know? She's the greatest woman you ever met. And then after about 30, 40 years of her bullshit, you know, just like, oh my God, I can't believe I married this woman, you know? I think it's the same thing with like a city. Uh, like the first phase of it's like awesome, but then all the little things like, start to do like, oh, of course, like crowded, kind of crowded. The fact, I mean, it's just now, like, I never get the fucking right order. Um, and like a couple nights ago, this is so lame. This is so little. But I ordered a cola, and I had to repeat it 4 times, 4 fucking times for the waiter to understand it. It's like, yes, like, what would you like to drink in Japanese? And I say cola, and he goes, I'm like, cola. He's like, And I'm like, a third time, cola. And he's like, And at this point, I'm about to lose it. And he points at the menu, and I point at like Coca-Cola and say, Coda. It's like, Coda? And I was like, yes, fucking Coda. You know, it's like, but it's like, that happens your first week, and you write it off to just like, it's communication gaps. That was silly. Like after like 10 years of it, it's really irritating. It builds up in your system like mercury poisoning. But the thing is, like, it's not. I mean, it's just that, like, some staff at some restaurants in any city, anywhere in the world, are retards. That's everywhere in the world. You're gonna run into a waiter who's a moron somewhere. It's gonna happen. You're also gonna run into waiters that are awesome. You know, like it's no different than anywhere else. Yeah, again, I know all the different arguments for it, all the different rationales, and like most foreigners, I know they wax between acceptance and rage over the years, wax and wane. Like for like a couple of years, like, well, what can you do? And then I know other people who then like a year later, they're like, it's so fucking irritating. Like a year later, they're like, but you know what? I chose to live here. So it's like it's always like this um, thing. But like crowded trains. Um, Situations where like Japanese people like refuse to like bend any rule whatsoever. Like if it's a rule, there is no way around it whatsoever, at all, ever, no matter what. You know. Um, so there's. Oh, I'm more than content living here. I love it here. I love it here. I totally don't want to leave this country. It's fantastic. I love it. I love my I essentially love my work. I'm just looking for something a little bit more, you know, something more with my thumbprint on it right now. But it's fantastic. But like for like any city, it's not perfect. You know, it's just not. If I was in New York, it's a thing. Like that annoys me. I get this comment regularly on my YouTube videos. It's like, if you don't like it, why don't you just go home to New York? And it's like, well, because if I went home to New York, I wouldn't like it there either. I'd be a dick about like the staff at like Starbucks in New York if I went there. No matter where I go, I'm gonna be a dick about like the place I'm at. That's it's not like it's like, for example, it's not like Larry David, like the character in like Kurt and Larry David. It's not like there's some city in the world like where everything would work for him. You know, and like I'm fairly easy to please. I don't get like that agitated. I rarely get that upset or annoyed by anything in this country. But like it happens every now and then. You know, but like Shogunai. But it's like, if you don't like it, then go home. It's like, well, I like it, like, generally, 90%. Well, it doesn't mean sunshine fucking flies out the asses of every Japanese person, you know. But it's like, and I think I do a fairly good job of being like balanced in my videos. You know, like I don't think I either praise the Japanese unnecessarily or abuse them without cause. You know, but like there's some people that like you say anything, like my Harajuku video. When I say that, I don't like that neighborhood. It's a great city, but that's not my favorite neighborhood. And people fucking freak out. Like, how can you say that about Harajuku? I'm a cosplayer. You're an asshole. Go die. I mean, I literally do not care. I lose very little sleep over negative comments on my videos. But it's just it's annoying to see people so stupid. Speaking of Starbucks, I actually want to get a coffee. Um, let's go over towards Sunshine. I want to try this walking thing one more time. Let me get a coffee. And then I'm gonna maybe say goodbye to you guys. Hold on. Walk. So this is Green Dory. It's a basically just a pedestrian street that leads up to Sunshine City. I hate this fucking shoe store. The staff just stands there and screams like we're selling shoes from ladders. That is the most retarded like sales thing. They just literally they stand on ladders in front of the shop and scream at people as they walk past. You know, please buy shoes. We have shoes for sale. Because like in New York at least there is some limit to the amount of like noise you can make in your shop front. But in Tokyo there is none. Zero limit to how loud of an annoying prick you can be. As long as you're like selling shoes or something. Yeah, I wish it's true. I wish the video did run smoother. Oh. The fact that this is possible at all in any way, shape, or form, to me is amazing. Uh, Now we find out who the pedophiles in the room are. I mean, it's totally gonna be a 4G. I mean, the camera's gonna get the computer will get smaller and faster and better. I mean, like I remember the days before cell phones. You know, that's so you know, maid outfit in bunny ears. Hilarious. And also in the list of jobs I do not ever want to do is hey, it is. I'm just I just
Are you doing one right now?
yeah I'm just live casting on the internet.
What's up, guys?
What's your name?
Peter.
Peter. Nice to meet
Hey,
you.
nice to meet you.
Say, yeah, good to hear.
Hey, how you guys doing? I used to live here. I used to live here for 8 years.
Really?
Yeah, my mother's Japanese. I came back.
Nice.
So, I'm here.
I literally bought this like new thing today, so now
Yeah?
I can like walk around and like broadcast the internet.
That's pretty cool, man. Edit me out, though.
I can. This is
Are you serious?
Oh, there's like
Has it up?
40, 50 people watching right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I look terrible.
I said hello, guy.
I look terrible.
Ah, see? doesn't look as bad as me.
Oh,
But
that's funny. I was just watching you today to get some ideas of where to go. That's
yeah,
so funny.
there's so
Now I
much
lost
to
my
do.
mother. She says she's at a coffee shop somewhere, so my girlfriend's trying to find it.
Okay. How long are you back for?
So that,
How long are you back for?
today's the first day. For 15 days.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Party last night. We're ready to go.
Actually,
Small spots, but.
I might actually be out there tonight.
Are you gonna be out there?
Huh.
Angel, you know that guy I was watching on TV today? This is him on the internet.
Random.
Kevin, right? Kevin?
Yes.
Kevin.
All right.
I'm on the internet right now, baby.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Can you scratch that?
Awesome.
Yeah, give me a call, man.
If anything comes up or you need any advice, questions, thank you for appearing ever so briefly on here.
Hey, take care, guys. Try to come to Tokyo.
Later.
See you, man. Take care.
Wow, that was a happening. It's always a little bit weird. I never know what to say, and I always I never know what's the appropriate amount of time to spend talking to the person. So I don't want to spend half an hour. It's I think 5 minutes is I think that amount of time was the exact amount of time that's appropriate to spend talking to someone who randomly you meet on the street who knows you and you don't know. I'm not entirely sure what the rules are. But he just knew me from the YouTube videos. I hate this fucking. I hate this fucking train stop. For this crossing. Oh God, I'm sure a number of people are laughing at me. I've dedicated to my life to incessant self humiliation, so I guess I can't complain. God, I think actually some other people behind me. I just heard YouTube mentioned behind me. Run, run! That happens every now and then. It's really, I don't know, it's odd. It's weird. And why is it never a hot girl? Seriously, it's always some middle-aged chubby dude named Peter. Seriously, that doesn't seem fair. All right, almost there. There we are. So now we're at Sunshine City. Ta-da! One of my other favorite places. Becky! I'm catching every like that. Oh, what's up? Pressing, 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 pressing speed, pressing speed. Yeah. Now this walking around showing you guys the city idea was so much less crazy in my mind hypothetically than it's turned out to be in reality. When I'm doing it with my camera, because the camera is so much smaller, people don't notice essentially. But people they tend to notice the laptop apparently. What can one do? Must climb stairs. That's Starbucks at Sunshine City. Be a table. Oh, I do get a coffee. Hold on. Oh, one of my other favorite places to hang out because it's outdoors. It's hilarious. Um, there's a store that says uh, anime shop behind me. It's actually that road just behind me that I crossed coming over here is called Otome Road, and it's sort of like the mini Akihabara for manga, especially dojinji, which are man-on-man uh, love comics for women, uh, which I haven't quite figured that one out, but apparently there's a market for that. I don't know. Like I'm really the last person to ask about anything, anime manga related. I know very little. In fact, like when they asked me to do, when Tokyo asked me to do the Akihabara show, I was like, why are you asking me? I'm like the last person to do the Akihabara episode. I, I think Akihabara should be leveled with like a bulldozer. I mean, it's a good place actually, and then a lot of people do enjoy it there. So, I mean, it has its place. Just not my place. Chisaichi, their men look like women in real life. I was at like Shibuya last night. My dinner consisted of a double cheeseburger. Uh, I ate while walking from the McDonald's in like Septigai in Shibuya, and like there was this dude there, and like I just could not stop staring at him. It was just, I swear, he was like a living like manga character. Like I could not believe that a man could be this effeminate. Like even like a Castro Street flaming homosexual in San Francisco would look at this guy and be like, seriously, dude, man up a little bit. Come on. I mean, it was ridiculous. I can't even like he had his hair was all like spoofed out like into this big like almost like helmet type shape, about 2/3 of it were like Starbucks cup white, and then black, dark fake tan, like a little nose stud, and the clothing I can't even begin was highly androgynous. And I'm like waiting for my burger, and he walks up. He's like, Mac pork onegaishimasu. I want a Mac pork. He had a Mac pork, like one little Mac pork sandwich. It was just, and I don't believe that he was a homosexual either. I mean, actually, I have many homosexual friends, and they are all incredibly butch guys. Um, they're just androgynous. They're just incredibly androgynous in Tokyo. It's like metrosexual gone so much further than it ever needed to go. Like so far beyond like metrosexuality. You got it, fait accompli. I was put off by the fact that deep inside I had these urges. Wanted to reach out and touch him on his smooth, soft shoulders. But like every guy I know in Tokyo has had the same moment, like where you're on the train and you're like looking at the back of some girl and you're like, nice, and they turn around and it's a dude. And you're like, why are you wearing pants that tight? You know, like the clothing here can be very androgynous. And it's Tokyo. It's not Japan. It's definitely not Japan. It's Tokyo. It's like guys, and I talked to a lot of Japanese girls and asked them like, someday, if you get married, would you rather marry a guy from Tokyo or a guy from your like, back Hokkaido or Iwate or your hometown wherever you're from? And like 9 times out of 10, they say I'd rather marry a guy from like, my hometown because like dudes in Tokyo are like not men. No, it's totally true. So, and the older guys, like you talk to like Japanese men in, like over 50, and like they look around with just like absolute utter disgust, like what happened? What happened to us? Like, is this what we've become? You know, I've spent many nights at like Nomiya talking to like old Japanese dudes who complain about it. They're like, men aren't men anymore. What happened to men? And it's like there's like the SMAP level is about the limit, like where I think society is acceptably comfortable with men being effeminate to the level of the boy band SMAP. Like Backstreet Boy level is like Japanese society is generally okay with. But like you get a place like Shibuya or Harajuku or Motosando, and it they go so far beyond that. Amazing, interesting city for sure. Oh, crap, work. Okay, I think I should go back to grindstone. Um, anyway, cool hanging out with you guys. I'm stoked about this new technology. This totally opens up the possibilities for what I can do with this show. Now, like if I go like to festivals or something like that, I might just go live randomly to show people, or if I see anything like crazy. Um, so I actually might be using blogTV more often than I used to, other than just for this like this weekly thing. I might do it, other times too. We'll see. Um, thanks for hanging out. Good seeing all you people and hanging. Um, I'll have my coffee at home and work. Later.